Another day, another coffee. Not bad. Cappuccino, almond milk, extra hot with caramel. Extra shot. Such a beautiful day here in central Queensland. Today is Tuesday. I don't even know what the date is. Welcome to shift work. Yeah, it is a beautiful day. I haven't seen a chemtrail for 4 months, possibly even longer. Is that a sign of the times? Typically we don't get chemtrails in winter, we're just coming out of our winter. We're coming into spring, and we usually see chemtrails around rain events, prior to rain events, weather events. Doesn't even have to rain. But yeah, I haven't seen any for a while, so that's a sign of the times maybe. That's kind of exciting. Being optimistic. It's going to be hard to top that last video. That was a great video. Definitely feeling the energies that are about, I suppose, after that powerful start of August. And that was a result of that. Even just describing that myself, it's unfamiliar to me, so for me to say it the way I just did is new to me. I claim to be very empathic, but learning what that is all about is a very big part of the process, and myself, my own journey. Sometimes I need things bludgeoned into my awareness to become aware of them. That's how I learn. And it's not about comparison, it's just we're all unique and different. Some people get it, some people don't. Some people got my last video. I didn't have to explain a single thing. Some people are able to pick it apart. But I see that as an invitation for connection, friendship, and teamwork, discovery. So I got asked a few questions I'd like to clarify. I think it would help disclosure, the disclosure process. Is the UFO subject purely spiritual? No, it's not. But you could say the most mundane of things is spiritual. Having a sip of coffee, everything could be considered spiritual. Depends how you want to look at it. It's not being airy-fairy. Is it purely spiritual? No. I think it's a tense shit show, if you ask me. There is a lot going on, and it's like we're in a massive standoff of sorts, and that doesn't mean a standoff to battle or anything, it's just what we're all going through. Is that spiritual? What are the findings and outcomes of this happening on a grander scale? I think it's pretty real. You've got everything from the darkest of the dark to the most beautiful light. So you can't pinpoint it into one thing. And I may have come across like that to someone, but after observing the whole scale of happenings, I choose to put my focus towards people who are orientated with the way that I think, or solutions focused, or people who are more focused into a better trajectory for where we're all heading. Oh, you could say, well, I'm doing that too with this, with my attention to disclosure. That's right. What are we talking about here? We're talking about humans being taken from the planet. Everything Michael Herrera shared. How's that spiritual? It's pretty hard to find the light in those happenings. But then there's also the complete opposite in the scale of amazing potentialities. It all has to be honoured. Just because I put my focus in a certain direction doesn't mean I excessively spiritualise the phenomenon. No. I'm completely grounded enough to be aware of the whole situation. Is the UFO subject black and white? Absolutely not. COVID was black and white. COVID was black and white on the first day, 1 month in, 2 weeks in, to flatten the curve, 1 month in, 2 years in, 3, 4 years in, it was still black and white, start to finish. The UFO subject, it is not black and white. Everything is happening. To be able to be here in this point in time, in this moment, to experience it, and if you're lucky enough to partake in it in any way, shape and form, well, that's a spiritual experience. And as overwhelming as it can feel, it is a gift as well. It's all about your perception, or my perception. This is my experience. It's not about them. It's not about them, any of them. It's about us. It's about all of us. Even though I put my focus out there and wonder, it's quite evident no one's coming to save us. So it's about us being able to take our realm back from the dark side of this entire experience. Is the UFO intelligence all love and light? No. We need to be spiritually and psychologically prepared. 100%. Through experiencing hardships in my journey, that's how I've developed. Like I said, I learned the hard way. Sometimes things need to be bludgeoned into my awareness, and I say that with so much self-love. It's not about comparison. Yes, even though here's the word, I believe I am, through nearly 10 years of interaction, starting off as CE5 protocols, which segued into whatever I'm doing now, which I haven't done CE5 for years. I just have to go hang out in nature to have contact experiences. After that 10-year happening for myself, my own journey, I can say I believe, making an assumption, I believe there are definitely positive intelligences out there. People. of sorts who want to interact with humanity. And I do believe that they have perfect timing. Absolutely perfect timing. And from our human perspective, we can't expect things to happen at a certain time, because the nature of reality is infinite and eternal. And how is our future even going to be successful, ever going to be successful, if we look out from ourselves to rely on someone else to resolve anything or do disclosure? We're going to get to that. And my guard is up, my wall is up, and I think that is why I haven't had a face-to-face conversation that I can remember with an entity, because my wall is up. I am guarded. I'm on edge. I'm on edge just as much as everyone else. How's that for some vulnerability? I think no matter what comes through that veil, we leave our guard up for a long time. Ponder that. Are the UFOs are they angelic entities? Like I said, I think a component of the entire community has that potentiality. But also there's realms on realms on realms on realms on realms. Layers of frequency, presence. I'm not trying to say buzzwords, I'm just trying to explain it. And they can all interact and pinpoint with our realm, our experiential realm, in different ways. But the contrast of dark and light can both do that. Like I said, after observing what I believe to be the bigger picture, that's where I'm putting my focus. Because that, to me, is solution focused. And I realised years ago, no matter how much I think and feel out, it's like a big rubber band. Pong! Just comes back and slaps me right in the face. What are you going to do about it? That's the rubber band coming back. Yes, I have entertained all possibilities of this phenomenon, all the way down to manipulation. Prior to actively doing CE5 outside in nature, outside of my lounge room where I first had experiences doing the meditations, I went out and did it in nature, and prior to doing that I thought, is this just another way for humanity to get effed over? That is literally what I thought. That was 2015, 2014, 2015. So I've had to have a little bit of faith. I have definitely entertained all the possibilities that I possibly can doing this. Maybe I have been taken advantage of. I've had abduction experiences. In 2018, I was waking up with marks on my body. So I'm still, we're all in this together. I don't say what is fact. We're all together, and we all have our own unique experience, and we have to walk forward side by side. It's the only way we're going to get through this. But, like where I was going with that, you have to have a little bit of faith. I thought, bugger it. I thought in 2014, 2015, how can it get any worse than this? And I wasn't even aware of the massive scale of dark to light back then, prior to actively doing C5. Whew. I don't have Stockholm Syndrome. I wake up every day, I laugh, I cry, I smile, I sing, I dance, I grit my teeth and growl. I'm not mentally insane, or I'm just an empath. That's what we do. Yeah, what do we do? I think it's... I think we're in an active war zone of sorts, a spiritual war zone, and there's a standoff, and the standoff has not finished. I don't think CE5 is bad. I don't think contact is bad. I think through doing things like that, we become a little beacon, and what you might call self-serving entities in this standoff can become aware of you, but also entities that want to help can become aware of you as well. So I am open to the possibility of manipulation, absolutely. Absolutely, but do you have to do contact or to be manipulated? The threat, the alien threat. So my understanding early on is the threat is already here. And the way I explained that is in the last video is you look at every structure of society and see how it's not at its highest potential. I think the threat is well and truly ingrained in our society. It has its tentacles, you could say. I don't like the prison planet theory, but that analogy is pretty good. It comes close. I don't want to give them that much power, the dark side that much power, absolutely not. But what is more... I don't think the threat's out there. I think there's higher beings holding space for us, and we're in a standoff of sorts for the hearts and mind of humanity. I think that's the prize. The threat's already here, so we don't have to worry about a threat out there, but still we have to be open to all potentialities without a doubt. My wall's up. My guard is up. And I've had people refer to me saying that is potentially not fully awake yet. I can accept that. Here's some vulnerability for you. Anytime I've done a contact, not anytime, more prevalent when I first started doing contact, it's like this dread set in. There'd be entities right beside me, and it's like just dread took over my body. and at first I thought, that's just my programmed response. I've got to get rid of that. Then I later came to realise it could be from whatever experiences I had as a child, and now I'm still working through it. I'm still not 100% open, and because of the state of the world, the politics, I haven't completely opened. I bet you're not going to get a CE5er to explain it that openly to you. But like I said, I'm not a CE5er. I just like hanging out in nature. And the universe works in mysterious ways. If that's your... it's like if you don't pass a lesson, you get a harder one the second time. So, because and not all those experiences I explained, dread came over me. Some of them were amazing, and I was still standoffish. But the universe, it teaches you a lesson. It's like, okay, well, you want to be a little bit skittish, we're going to give you yowies. Okay? Now, if you want to imagine what it's like interacting with yowies, imagine having a wild lion, an African lion, a big king lion, on a leash, a wild one, and you have to go up and hold that leash, be 3 feet away from it, knowing it's not going to bite you. That's what it feels like. Unreal. And I love it. Alright, I think I explained that. Clear enough. So no, it's not all peaceful love and light. A push for transparency from the non-human intelligence. Well, there's some dogs fighting down here. Get out of it. Oh. Push for transparency from them. Like I said, I don't think it's about them. It's about all of us having to figure it out. If I had to pierce through the politics and get out for a higher perspective, it would be like them looking down going, thumbs up, you got it. And that's my perception for me personally, but also for us all as a collective. So it's kind of like you first. And that's through responses, visual responses, thoughts and feelings, over nearly 10 years reacting every other month or whatever. That's how I perceive it. Am I being manipulated? What's the worst thing that could happen if humans were first? Why does someone else have to disclose themselves? I think that opens up the door for people seeing them as saviours or threats or whatever story they want to run with. Ultimately, it is just us. So I said that before. Should we get angry at governments? No. I think we're all on this journey together. I think it's an even playing field. I can tell some of the members of the government are left in the dark about all this, so you can't look to them and get angry. When I first started Contact, I kind of perceived it as a grassroots thing. Happens from the ground up. That's amazing. 100% agree with that. But now I perceive it as it's all of us. Everyone has to play a role. And Lou Elizondo, I think he's got a pretty good energy. I'm reading him. I think he's the right man for the job, for what he's doing. And for him to be doing that, I think it's safe to say he might be having a spiritual experience to be in that position. The indigestible part. I don't think it's indigestible. I think disclosure needs to happen sooner than later. Feels like it's sort of coming to a head politically and everything going on in the United States. Whatever happens there is going to affect everyone else. I think to break the ice of whatever the outcome is, leading into next year, we're going to need more deeper disclosures. I think it's smart to do the crafts first, the clearer photos, definitely, the clearer videos, the clearer explanations. Mention some names of some races, maybe, that you're aware of. I don't have the data points, the data collection that those people might have. I definitely have my beliefs and my understandings of all the players, but I'm very careful. I don't want to drop names or make assumptions because I haven't had that one-on-one interaction and debrief from any non-human intelligence. So I'm not just going to repeat names, but it definitely appears as good players and bad players. So start off with clearer videos, clearer photos. Do all that. Everything's going to be fine. I don't want to say it, but you're going to have to amaze everyone. Wow them a little bit. And then we're going to have to honour the dark to the light. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I don't think Lou Elizondo and his team want the fake alien invasion. Obviously not. But I think it's irresponsible to unite humanity as a military-industrial complex. But we need to honour the fact that that's all there, and it is our history, our past, and the indigestible part we need to honour as well, to be able to take all that on board and then watch out for each other moving forward. The spirituality of the people is the only thing that's going to save us. It's not about spaceships, it's not about ET races, it's about the rubber band coming back, it's about us. Who is an authority on this topic? no one is an authority. But it's safe to say there is tried and tested people in this community who are still standing, who we need to look to for reliable information. I don't claim to be one of those people, but there's people who have been having contact for decades and sharing it. Maybe that they can help guide us and make sense of all this. Recap of the solutions. Humans first. I believe there is a disclosure plan, and that is unfolding. And it's about us, it's not about them. I think it's humans first, the military-industrial complex, then the off-worlders. It's probably going to have to go in that order. And that's not in an effort to become more of a military-industrial complex society. It's probably to just disclose what we already have and have been doing, and to show off the technology. You could probably have flyovers at the beach on the weekends with the triangle crafts and whatever else we've got. You know, this is where it could go, where it should go. Make light of the situation, not to corral everyone further into a military-industrial complex. Absolutely not. That's not where I stand. But it's there. You know, is that the tech that we're all going to be using? The Air Force in Australia, I believe, is already prepping people. They're doing flyovers of big aircraft over the Brisbane River and stuff like that in through the city. We could do things like that. You could have Space Force, whatever, patrolling. Who's going to do it first? Is it going to be the US and Australia? Are we going to have the tech disclosures? Just have triangles openly flying up and down the coast all the time. How cool would that be? I don't know. I'm just. This is solutions. This is options. How far off is that? And when we are more aware of who we are, where we've come from, within our own initial 50 to 100 years, how long has this disclosure or the secrecy been going on? When we release that and then get comfortable with that, secure ourselves, not in a military type of way, and we stabilise our own problems. To do that, you might need a country or two to be the pioneers. Solutions. Is it gonna be Australia and the US? You know, let's fly our tech proudly, and then the rest of the world will follow. We can advance ourselves. just step by step. Doesn't have to happen quickly. Then will the non-human intelligence come into our societies more so. Don't look to them for the answers, because they're already prevalent enough. Like I said, there's places that have been sharing experiences of contact for decades and teaching people how to have their own contact experience. Another solution, you could have your own contact journey. If you're invested in this community, this topic, and you're drawn to it, I've got to be careful not to be ungrounded and circling in fantasy of sorts, because some of the things that I want to explain I can't even put into words, and that is purely a result of my own exploration and contact journey. So what is your amazing mind going to experience? Your mind and your heart. What is it going to experience? Bloody mowers. You could have your own contact journey. That's a solution. If you're involved in this topic, in whatever fashion, go have your own contact experience. And when you go out and do contact out in nature, the contact with your surroundings on the earth is just as profound as seeing lights in the sky or on the ground. I think it's appropriate to have disclosure in whatever fashion, because it's going to ease the situation for everyone. I don't think all these bad players who got caught up in the establishment want this to go on any longer than everyone else wanting disclosure from the UFO community. I think just cracking that damn wall is just going to take a weight off everyone's shoulders, and we can finally get on with it. So, yeah, I believe I have a good perspective because I have a limited amount of data. And that makes my perspective a good perspective, because I'm on the same... I'm in the same boat as you are, and we're all in this together. It's the only way this is going to work. I think in an infinite and eternal existence, having limited data is a good thing, because it gives us a chance to figure it all out. And we don't have to follow how the UFO community has always been, tit for tat, disagreements, calling each other out, grandstanding. How about teamwork? For the right person who is interested, I would offer my time, volunteer my time, gift my time to you to help you on your own contact journey. Could be a half an hour or an hour conversation if you were interested. Imagine what an amazing mind like yours could discover and then be able to share. I've always wanted to say this. I've never asked for a single like, but if you like this video, slap a like on this bad boy. During my awakening experience, which I believe doesn't stop, it is an ongoing process, I used to often think and dive into and ponder, are these other intelligences that we're interacting with, are they just animals like us? If you're having those thoughts, you could be having your own spiritual awakening, or possibly, upon further investigation, receiving telepathic insight and messages. And that is just how subtle it is. So you could be having your own contact experience right now, or great minds just think alike.